Hold on. I believe it's. I can check real quick.
So, so you know
Okay,
how
so
yours increases in damage at level 5 to do 2d10? With Eldritch Blast, instead of making... Yes.
Instead of
yes,
more
that's
damage, you just shoot
10
more.
and 14. So
Um,
24 damage.
what'd you shoot out?
Eldritch Blast. So I'm shooting out these two. My hand points right as I'm holding on to the balloon, and I put my finger down to mimic, like when you shoot a finger gun, and it just shoots two threads out and hit into him like a stomach punch. Two good punches right to the stomach.
And it hits him. Wait. Say that. Describe what?
Okay,
Sorry,
so
I just didn't grasp that. I guess my apologies.
okay, so I point the finger gun at him, right? As I pull my finger down to mimic shooting, two threads. One shoots from my thumb, the other from my pointer finger.
All right.
As right before they connect, they almost take like a spider's legs type thing.
Yeah.
That they take that shape from the movement as they
All right.
pierce into
As
him,
it
dealing
as it
24 altogether.
hits, you see these legs basically like hit and pierce into him and almost stick through the body as if he was hit with one of those spike traps that swing and hit you in the forest. Just boom, and you see the fish. You weren't sure if it was fish or little rabbits or ferrets just kind of drop down, and he just hits the knees and just falls forward. Those two are dead. Yes. So there's two orcs dead out there, looking around using passive perception of everybody here. I mean, that seems to be the only thing. The planes
Pretty
just have a
quiet.
small, yep. But you do notice in the distance, Delta, looking up at the sky, trying to get the time, which would be, you left at 5, so 6. That was 11 o'clock at night, and then 8. So it is 7:10 in the morning as you are
Nice.
arriving here. Mind you, you went 6 and 8 hours with, I'd say, short rest in between because nothing happened to you guys and whatnot. So you technically all have full health and whatnot right now. Um, but it took that long, even including like 3 short rests, to get here through that time period of traveling. So you guys probably are, a little soaked in sweat. You still haven't got cleaned from that city, so I mean, you guys probably have a little musk to you as a group,
I
to be
smell fresh
honest.
as a daisy.
Yeah. But yeah, you
Prestigious
guys looking
Daisy.
at the forest, like you can see that in the forest line there is a thickness to it. It's almost got it looks like to be like a red air underneath it, but it could just be like the shine of the red trees and the red forest itself, because even the grass seems to have a red tint from yellow to red tint. Um, Looking really closely, Delta, looking around with your scope and checking out the ridge line, you do notice different, and it's like every 30 to 60 feet relatively, there is spike walls hidden amongst the trees and the bushes. What seem to be like metal posts sticking in and out, facing outwards into the air. Like a hidden defense, or poorly hidden defense, but it almost blends in because of the color that it's branded with is like a red as well. So if you didn't have your scope from this distance, you wouldn't have noticed it. But if you actually look straight forward, you'll see what I mean. Look straight down on the path and look on the left or right side of it.
I do see them indeed, my friend.
Yes, yes.
I didn't see those. Nice.
Those are like up all the way up that direction too, and like all the way over there. So like
Is
they're every 30 to 60 feet.
he coming?
Yeah.
Does Delta also happen to see the thing on top of that mountain over there to the right?
And taking your gaze up and kind of looking towards and trailing it, you see in the distance up on a peak. You don't see anybody, but what you see is what your mind, it's like seeing things your mind isn't familiar with, so it's like hard to put it together, but your brain automatically goes to a catapult device or a shooting device of some sort. But the way this looks is it seems to have a bunch of hide at its base of some sort, is what it looks like from this distance, even with the scope. And the way it goes up, it's almost this black material. Not sure if it's a type of metal or if it's colored that way. Um, Goes up into like a seat type position, and pointed upwards where it's like almost in like a resting position. It has this large handle with what you can see is like a very bright gem sitting on top of it. It's a very dark blue gem. Like the way it's shining off the light's hitting it, it gives that shine, but it's a dark blue gem on the end of this handle. And where the turret that you're looking at would be is this large dark blue, almost like the way it's cut, you can tell it is an ore or a crystal of some sort as it's cut out. And on the very end, you know how your pistol has the two little diamond points on the very tip, and then when it shoots, it's the little air shoots out from right there, out from the middle of it.
Yeah.
It's got multiples of those going around it, as if they're symmetrical on each side of each other, but it looks to be 6 different points altogether, so that'd be 12 sets altogether. Or 6 sets, 12 points altogether. But yeah, you guys are open game right now. I'll go... I'm going to put 2 crates down right here, but these are just dead bodies. What are you doing, Al?
I like to think that Pete and Delta say this at the same time. Also, Delta wants to roll an insight check whenever he says roughly. Delta would like to try to insight kind of determine what does he mean by roughly. Like, does he mean like?
Roll an insight check.
Does he mean like?
Yeah.
He was told it's in the redwoods somewhere.
Natural 20. He has no idea where he is.
Yeah.
8.
He knows exactly what he's talking about.
Yeah.
You see that Apocti seems to be confident in himself. That's all I'll say.
You think he's never lied in his life.
So then that one, I could see that.
You give him back all your items and say, hey, I'm sorry.
Al, those are dead bodies up there. I'm just making sure you knew that. I just needed them to look down instead of up. Alright.
I'm gonna stand up. I'm gonna begin walking the path. And Kami, could I possibly feed the woman a piece of steak? Like hand her like a small cut up piece?
She is not awake. Can't feed an unconscious person, sir.
Yeah.
Alright.
Delta is currently typing. If you give me a second.
Don't worry, we're not going that fast. I'm gonna begin singing like an Elvish tune. Just
Delta's gonna actively like hush the singing. We just killed 2 orcs, and they're talking about. Oh yeah, Delta's going to like be like, you fucking idiot. Why are you talking? There are orcs around, and then realize, man, they have no idea what those orcs are saying. So then Delta's going to relay the information that there's an active hunting party somewhere in the area. We should probably be quiet and try to avoid it. And, like, shove everybody back in the bushes because everybody neglected to acknowledge that information. And then Delta realizes, that's my bad.
you never said it.
Yeah, that's why Delta would like to reiterate that
It's your
that's why
fault.
we should
Wait a
get
minute.
higher ground and try to assess the current situation everywhere.
From here
I'm gonna
to where you
raise-
were looking earlier is you're looking at about maybe a 10-minute hike. Like it is like kind of a up on a hill,
Yeah.
so it's not far
How
from here.
how
but
high is this
it's
actually? Like,
it's up in the air.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
Like,
about
would,
five. You're
like
looking
from
about
there would be a
500.
solid vantage point to see over the
Yeah,
woods
you're looking
itself.
about 500 feet. Yes.
Okay, Delta.
It's but the
I have
way
a
it's just like
suggestion.
the way the terrain is. It's you have to kind of like walk up the ridges of it.
Yeah.
You can see the natural ridge of this. It's obviously smaller than it's supposed to be in ARK. But if you
I have a
look at the ridge, the pathing is like on the ridging of it. As you can, it kind of goes barren and it's very open, but it does lead to that peak.
Okay. Delta, I have a suggestion. We have birds, right? One blends in with the ground very well, the other can fly very fast. Why not have them, why not send them out?
Delta One, look at the fucking gun, okay?
I know you do. It's just like, do we have to get distracted
Two birds
right now
with one
with a
stone.
person? What,
Two birds with one stone.
why are you hitting Jerry and Burst down? What's wrong with you, man?
All right. So Owl did walk up. And you see, you guys are in the path. Owl walks up and is looking at this body. What are you doing, Owl, with these as you're kind of kneeling down at this body right here?
Burst is a what? Burst is a what, then? A proto-mammal?
All good.
What is this thing?
Pete. Jerry hears something.
Frog.
You
Jerry
hear him
hears something.
You see Jerry
Only
turns
Jerry?
around and kind of like slowly turns and like walks through the middle of your legs, and you kind of like do that little half bend, looking all the way bent over, looking through your legs upside down at Jerry, like, where are you going? And he's kind of stopped, and you see him kind of like do a little chirp, and then you hear the little chirp noise from him, and you turn around and look, and you see Jerry's looking at through the bushes that are about 20 feet from you. There's a large rock, and in between the bushes and the rock is this little face, little black hyena face, kind of peeking out and just like looking at you guys. And it takes a moment, and then it realizes that you two are looking at it, and it backs away into the bushes again. Alright, dragging the burnt body that you see is like this redskin orc, but the about waist to all the way to its head and most of its arms is just burnt skin. And you can see it. Oh no, that's this. The first one is this. The one that is the one that got lit on fire. The second one is the one he started backing away and was starting to run when he got shot with the Elder's Blast. Are you talking about the second one? Okay, so the second one, you go and getting up to him and pulling him away. You see that the legs of the Elder's Blast are gone, almost like they kind of melted into a black ichor of some sort. And you see Al kind of pull this small little body just by its ankle or something, and just drag it into the bushes real quick. As you hear Al walking up, Pete, you and Jerry both hear the hyena you just seen. It sounds like it kind of scattered away a little bit. You hear it like run off into the trees a little, like further away. At the same time because Al was making kind of a little bit of noise when it came into the bushes, it's almost like it kind of skittered away a little bit. But Al, what are you doing with this body that you have here? This is a body.
Yeah, he's gonna take a bite, get whatever blood he can, and he's gonna.
Oh, I forgot about that. You guys just see him lift his mask and. How you explain it? How does this look for you here, Owl?
He's gonna take a large chunk out of his neck.
You all witnessed that.
Just like not like vampire bite. This is more like ripping neck out, like eating meat.
Honestly, Delta shouldn't be that shocked. Scout did this to like the pompous elf that traveled with them. I think the first time to the library.
For no
he took
reason.
a bite.
Orville?
No, he took a bite and then spat it out.
It was Orville that you did that to.
Horrible. Who cares?
So
He
Delta
died.
still has it.
Delta Alpha
Oh,
Cell.
you still have
So
died.
progress.
I will say that you get roll a 1d20 for me, Owl, to see how much how well you drain
Yeah.
this body.
Scout took a bite, and then the running joke with him became, "Hey, you gonna eat that?" and then Scout got canonical
What?
Ultra Instinct because Delta shot at
Um,
me and I dodged each
roll
shot.
roll a 1d20 plus your wisdom or your wisdom modifier, if you have one. Um, and whatever the number is how many days you're okay for. Basically, it's how well did you drain this body, like drain. All right, so because of some of the blood drain and some of the ichor that got in the bloodstream a little bit, you end up like taking out of that bite and like some of the going back to the neck and draining. Like pop back and like spit out a little bit of black ichor, and you looking up at Scout, you realize that was from it's got a mix of bad blood now in a way. Like you got what you could of it, but the rest of it is, it's for whatever that ichor was or whatever he used, and when it dissipated, it left behind that residue. You almost drank some of it, but you spit it out.
Do I have blood?
No, that wasn't blood of yours.
I know. I mean, do I, as a person, have blood?
At the yeah, at the moment you do.
Sorry.
Um,
Oh,
so
sweet.
yeah, checking. Yeah, checking the inventory. It is a weird question, right? Checking the inventory
Checking my
of what
inventory.
little you check the orc and you realize that still like in his hands and clasped to it is like two small ferret weasels that he caught in a part of a fish where it seemed to have either got like some of its scales got ripped off a little bit from you dragging it and whatnot, but or possibly from beforehand maybe when they had caught it, but it was just three tiny like um, dead wild caught animals. Small game, very small game. Looking around to see if they're carrying anything else. Nothing but a loincloth, man. You even like look under the loincloth, orc nuts, and you're like, ah, oh, damn it, and put it back. You realize
That's the second time Orc Nuts has been referred to, Kami. Not a fan.
I'm sorry.
You know what? Can we get
But
Can we get
they're
truck nuts?
some of them are barbaric. Like, what do you expect them? You expect them to have underwear? Look at them. They're eating people. You think they care about
Tell me,
underwear?
is it canonical we have?
No, just a bunch of what seems to be small scars and possible like healed burn marks and whatnot.
Into Orc Nuts.
Yep, really.
A bag of orc nuts.
His teeth are broken in different places, but he does have a rather like his canine teeth are rather large, where his orc bottom teeth, the ones that are usually sticking up a lot bigger, are broken off near the bottom. That's it.
Hey,
It was
is
definitely. Oh, there is a small knife. He does have a skinning knife on his right. Attached to the loincloth is a small skinning knife that looked like it's used to skin small animals.
Hey, Kami?
You're gonna what? No, what'd you say? you, you just hear, and it just sheets. This is like
I thought it was just one good.
something, or it'd be a. Yeah, there you go. Well,
Hey, Kami.
thanks, man.
I have a question.
Yes.
Can we canonically have carriage nuts, like truck nuts?
What?
Have you never heard of truck nuts? Hold
Oh,
on.
I have. There's no trucks in. No, I'm not even getting on this. I'm not even going to
Can we?
entertain it.
Can we get
I'm
carriage
going to
nuts?
stay on topic. I'm going to stay on topic. I'm not even going to entertain that, Scout.
Come on, bruh. Tell me you wouldn't decorate your carriage? Come on, bro. Deck out the carriage.
Delta's gonna look at the group, seeing everybody like Like, what is currently the plan, fellas?
If we go, okay,
Yep.
all I'm saying is, we go up to the hill, I'm praying, I swear to God, if there's another spirit ghost, I'm gonna lose it.
Probably not. Delta's gonna start making his way towards this cliff hill.
I'm still camouflaged with the wolf, so I'm following.
Very quietly making our way up the hill.
Very quiet, like, ah, my toe!
Very quiet. We're crouch walking. He's just Drax. Thank you, Scout, for sneaky snitch. This is a treacherous ass cliff.
Yep. Oh, I need each of you walking up that cliff to roll either an acrobatics or an athletics for me, please. Actually, no, it would be acrobatics because the ridge you're walking up, as you're walking up it, it's almost like a really, like, terribly loose graveled hill. So as you're walking, your feet even like you're catching rocks and like slipping a little bit and like catching yourselves. Noticing that like you could try to walk on the edge of it, but for some reason to get up to this point, the ridges you have to walk like on this vertical point because either way is almost just too much of a slant unless you go back the way you came.
Fun fact, Delta's athletics and acrobatics are the same.
I got a 3. And also, thank you, Delta, for pointing the treachery out, bud.
You're welcome.
Yeah, no problem.
Acrobatics.
Yep, I got a 3, so how fun. Ooh, hey Pete, can I borrow that magical guidance, please? I'm carrying an unconscious person, and I'd rather not have them die. Lucky. Hey, Kami, as I start to lose my footing, I want to face step and holding the person and just fix myself.
We don't even know if you lose your footing yet, Scout.
I probably will.
So, the only one that loses their footing, is Pete.
What?
So, Pete, I need you to roll a dexterity saving throw for me. As you guys are walking up, you aren't far from each other, but you're walking up at a steady pace, not too slow. But Pete, you see Delta in front of you, step on this specific rock, and he walks across it. It doesn't budge, but as you step in the same place he did, the rock slips out from underneath you and goes down the hill, and it makes you slip and throwing yourself, trying to throw yourself backwards with momentum. You grasp just enough of the hill, and you're trying to save yourself from sliding down, basically, on gravel. It's almost like that the world's roughest slip and slide. Delta, Delta and Burst. You have a quick reaction. What do they try to do?
Burst is gonna attach to his back and kind of like slow the fall.
Give acrobatics to Burst.
Jeez,
to catch him in
I
time.
think she's actually really good with that one.
Delta, you doing anything at all, or anybody else that might be
Delta's
closer to him at
currently
all?
looking in his bag of tricks to see if he has anything he could do.
Acrobatics, you say?
Well, you could use Jerry. All right, so use Jerry. Use a strength check with Jerry, please.
And acrobatics, you said?
Yeah, acrobatics check with her to latch on.
$19.
So
we both got 19.
You see both Jerry reach out real quick and grab Pete, basically by by the sleeve, and Burst lands on your back and like pulls you up from your shirt a little bit, and both catches you at the same time, and almost not even letting you hit the side of the gravel and going down, but catches you in the air.
Just Burst just saying, next time be careful, old man.
Nobody understood Burst.
Jerry does.
You get yourself back up and stand back up on the hill, you know.
Burst stays on his back. Burst stays on his back, ready. He's like, I swear to God.
I almost lost my thumbs.
Jerry, Gary,
Alright,
keep
and
your
making your
thumbs to
way up
yourself.
further, I need you guys to give me a group stealth check.
Delta. Or do we all
Only
roll?
I need only because you're going to like a tip top point where even from where y'all were you
Good
can
job,
see
Pete.
it, so it's in the open. And I know you guys
Do
are
we
trying to
all
be
roll?
relatively quiet, not not trying to draw too much attention. So, group stealth
I
check.
got 7. Should I have
Ar-
burst roll or because she's on Pete's back?
Uh, 25.
Should should burst roll or
So
no?
yeah, burst can roll.
Okay, sweet.
So everybody but Pakti so far is you guys aren't hidden from sight completely because you are out in the middle of the air, but you're keeping quiet. You're not drawing too much attention to yourselves. You're not knocking rock. Yeah, they silently caught you and kept. It wasn't too many rocks that slid and fell down whenever you stepped wrong. Just one rock fell, and nothing seemed to come from it. So you guys are doing pretty all right with everybody's rolls. Making your way up, you're getting closer and closer to what see. So as you can see on this little turret thing. I'm going to explain to you what you see for a second. Alright. So
Oh,
coming up,
shoot.
it is more... Oops. Didn't... Damn it. Yeah. Yeah. So it is in a standby position of pointing like upwards like it is now. There's no riding carriage to it. Obviously you could ride in it if I locked it or whatever it is. But there's no riding carriage. It's more of like a small platform you stand on behind this where the... Move, Scout. Where the steering wheel is, basically, or like where you aim with it, that is completely that where the handles are connected straight to the turret itself, and it's just like a long pipe connected to the back of this piece that's holding like a stick out platform. It's almost like a ceiling piece that's sticking out that they're standing on. So you basically standing in place when using it and holding on to these handlebars. There's no back support, no roof to it. There's no like aiming point either or metal wrapping around it. It's just this solid base of black material, but where the barrel is this perfectly cut, and it seems to have several flat edges but rounded so many edges rounded that it almost appears like a perfect almost like it's completely flat from far away, but once you get closer you see it has several ridges, almost like a coin. And it's an extended barrel, like this long pipe, probably about 4 foot in thickness, and it's just cylindrical all the way down to the end. And on the very tip of it, you see these triangle-like points. There's 12 points, 6 sets of symmetrical points across from each other on the tip of the barrel. Coming down into the mechanism, you do see it as have like these machines and cogs set at the bottom to where it looks like it would rotate and move. There are inscriptions down on the bottom that actually some of you may recognize if been to Ishka City before. You would have seen these occasionally in the walls that they have. It helps keep things cool, or like what you've heard of transferring electricity, because you see the same cables that you've seen in the halls of Ishka and things that hooked up in certain areas. These same cables wrap around and connect in different compartments and go into this blackened metal. More than likely having inner workings, but you can see that it does look like a rotary platform, and it does look like a possible siege weapon of some sort, is what it would appear. And in your brain, you're obviously looking at it like what it is, but you're not sure what it does or exactly what it is, technically speaking. So, yeah.
Delta's gonna start kind of rummaging through these boxes over here, just as a just like a quick open it, see what's inside, open it, see what's inside, open it, see what's inside,
So going up
sort
to the
of deal.
boxes, you
Not
see
like
that
digging
they're...
them around.
Yeah, opening up all the boxes, and like even if any of the others open boxes, you'll see that most of them are actually pretty empty, but you do find a residue that is something they would use for cannons too. So it's almost like a fire powder or like a gunpowder in a way, but more explosive. And it's only in
Ooh.
one crate. It's not much, and it's not in a container. It seems to be scattered across the bottom as if it was left there. But all the crates do appear to be empty. But looking around, it seems like this is a defensive standpoint or a possible small lookout. Not something people would stay at or like sleep at or guard consistently, but more so. And it does,
An oh
um,
shit button.
yeah, it does seem to have been used recently. All these boxes look moved. They're like there was flat parts of dirt where the boxes have been, and like dust and dirt had grew, but the boxes are moved, and there's like little squares of not like an hour ago used, but you can
But
tell that
recently.
they were there for a long time, and then they weren't sometime recently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, can I take a look around in the forest and see how
Yeah.
close we are?
So from this point, well, obviously in ARK you can't see where it's at, but technically,
Too late.
where you are, you can't see it from here, even if you were like above the trees. You see that the pillars of Ravis is the land that is plateauing up to it and connecting to it and ridging upwards and through hills and slight mountain plateaus, and then the pillars of it sticking out, you realize are blocking any other scene. You can tell some of the tree line goes back behind it on the far left, and you can see a couple red trees up on some of the plateaus of the mountains of those pillars, and all the way to the far right into the sky. Like if you see me float into the sky a little bit, I'm right above you. You all three, everybody could do this technically if you wanted to. I'm just right above the turret, by like maybe 50 feet. Okay, so you can see all the way. What you can see now is what you can see. You don't, except for the river in front of you. Like you don't see a river and you don't see a bridge, but everything
You
you
see
see
it.
from here, this is what you see.
Um, while they're messing with the boxes, may I do something dumb?
Just, just say you're gonna do it.
Right.
You don't have to ask
I
for
want
permission. You are your character, sir.
right. I want to try and look through the eyes of my familiar. That's not here technically.
You try to, and you're focusing on it. No connection.
Sweet.
Still no connection, I should say. All right. As your guys' move from here, you have pretty good stealth. Um,
How
that's
big is this turret roughly? Like in D&D terms, would this be like a large structure, a huge structure?
yeah, this would be a huge structure. It is as big as it looks in ARK compared to your player character now. Just the chassis and stuff is different. The where you don't sit, you stand. It doesn't have a roof to it, and it doesn't have the outer metal workings. It's just like where the aim part is right here. It has like this little U shape that goes over the barrel and then connects back to the seat. That's not there.
Yeah.
It's just the barrel, the where
The
you
gun
aim
itself.
at, and then the middle part that lets you rotate it, and then a platform that lets you stand behind it. That's it.
Do these are these barrels like how they are currently individual barrels?
No, no, it's one whole cylinder. Like it looks like a
It's one
cylinder.
whole cylinder.
It
It's not
looks like a
like Delta
cylinder,
can.
but it has the edges like you know how a quarter has several edges, but it looks round.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes,
It's
yes.
like that, but an entire cylinder of it, like one whole piece. It could be like it's like almost like a small pillar of a crystal. Yeah.
Got
Thank you, Pete. It's got
It's
grooves carved
engraved.
into it.
Delta's gonna kind of manipulate it a little bit and like move it around and just kind of
So you go, wait, you trying to
mess with
move on
it.
it from where you are, like just grabbing the barrel
Yeah,
itself, or you like hopping on it?
yeah, yeah. Delta's gonna like hop on it, move it around, kind of look
As
at it,
you,
just fuck with it. Not like try to shoot it or nothing. He's gonna fuck with it a little bit though.
can you get on it?
It is no access
Do,
inventory.
give to me.
Fuck you.
All right. So as you're standing on the platform, right?
Yeah.
So you reach up and you go to grab the platform, and as you grab it, you go to stand on it, and it's almost as if your center of gravity changes, and you don't have to like pull yourself. It's like you guys see him standing diagonally on it with it aiming at the sky, as if he's standing normally with no problem at all. So the world, like your equilibrium's thrown off right now. Like you feel
No.
like you have to hold
Delta gets
yourself
hella
up.
motion sick real quick.
Yeah, you feel like you have to hold yourself up, but you actually don't have to.
Yes. Yes. He was a very poor sailor, dude.
Yeah.
Here's my
So,
question: how do you get
but
motion sick
his
in a
also
car?
his entire feel like gravitational situation changes what it feels like, because like his center of gravity is now being pulled to that platform. So wherever he faces his, that's a little bit of I know a ship is. Yes. He feels like he needs to hold himself up from falling to the ground, but he doesn't. He's standing. He could let go and be fine, but he doesn't know that. He's holding on to it right now. And as you do, it
Yeah.
kind of you're holding on to it, and you feel in your hands, you feel this. It almost feels like something like a foam, almost foam-like material feels into your palm, and it's almost as if you're connected to it. You, it's like you're looking with your eyes, but you know you're looking out of the end of the barrel.
Yeah. Whoa.
So like even when you look to the right, you're looking at everything you see now, but it's like this weird vision you can still see right where the barrel's pointing. Yeah. One eye's just going left.
Oh my! You're telling
No,
me Delta
no,
just
but
goes
yeah,
cross-eyed?
that's what's happening to you guys. He's if I don't know if he's moved it at all yet, but it doesn't like
Yeah.
glow or anything. He's just still in that same, stand down point like where it was originally.
Yeah,
He's just standing on it.
Delta begins to all the movements he's doing in ARK are in character movements. He's just kind of like.
Yeah, you guys see it moving, and you hear the gears start to move and creak, and he's moving it and moving it around like that. Delta, I need you to roll a wisdom saving throw for me, because you need to see if you accidentally shoot this thing unknowingly, because
Yes.
you don't know what you're doing.
Delta does know the basic firearm safety laws of don't point the gun at anything you don't intend to destroy.
Yeah,
Always
What's
know
that
your
mean?
always know your backstop. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Delta knows the basics of firearm safety. It's an 18 wisdom save.
Okay. You don't fire anything. So you're holding on to it, and as it's moving, now this thing is like, picture like a helicopter
Like,
rotary, like you're using a
yeah.
helicopter control. It's not like, handlebars and whatnot. It's like a fucking joystick that you're using. And you don't realize it, but like you had turned something somewhere for a moment, and you didn't realize you had turned it, but you guys see this, you hear this, and this small light travels up through it. It's like you see the black material shoot with like these different signs that the inscriptions are following, and it outlines them, and it quickly goes up to the barrel. And as it goes up to the barrel, Delta, you see it, and you like let go of it, and like you just fumble with it. And you feel the turn and switch back, and it like rotates back into position, and you hear it shut off. And and you see the inscriptions begin to die out, and the light goes away.
Delta's gonna let go of this thing and see what happens.
So rolling a dexterity saving throw for me, since it's your first
Dex
time.
save.
Yeah, to see how you go from having your equilibrium thrown to that, and then back to normal on a ridge line.
That is a 16. Delta's very upset that he does not have another bag of holding. Wait.
No.
Wait.
No.
The barrel
No.
is 4 feet in thickness.
Yeah. Delta has a way to get around that for like short bursts.
Delta?
Which Delta could travel 2 hours a day. He could figure it out.
All right,
He would make it work.
He's got ideas.
Delta,
All right, what
Delta,
do you guys
like
do from
when
here?
man, I wish Delta actively said it out loud. Man, I wish I had another bag of holding. Wait,
Wait.
I have to read whether or not I can use the same infusion
Okay.
twice. That's something I gotta look up artificial
Delta.
wise.
Delta,
Delta might
soon-
be able to get 2 bags of holding.
Delta, as soon as you say that, Pachi says, "We are not taking this place's only defense away." That is the dumbest move I have ever heard.
Wait, what'd you say?
As soon as you say, "Man, I wish I had another bag of holding," Mike, immediately I say, "We are not taking this place's only defense away."
Alright. You guys from here. Um, Al, you doing anything while you're up here before you guys go? You do see a path like in the trees. Like it is thick forest, but looking through, you do see a path down there at some point. It's you'd seen it before you came up, so you know there's a pathing probably, hopefully to a city of some sort or some kind of civilization or whatever. But being up here at it, seeing the inscriptions, almost activation of it, having these small conversations, you spend about 20 minutes up here trying to lie low, but looking out into the distance, Delta, you just happen
Hmm.
to you're like looking at your bag of holding and like arms one arm underneath the other with your holding up your with your elbow on your arm, touching your chin, just looking at it and then damn it, I wish I had another bag of holding. Like thinking and like you guys are
Yeah.
walking around having a small conversation. Hidden as you may be, Delta, you step over and you just happen to take a look out standing over next to Pete. And looking out past Pete into the plains, you see far off into the distance, into the yellow plains, back into the fields of Eldair. The way I'm looking, where were you at? The way I'm looking
Right.
now, this direction, you see coming already in the opening, 7 figures in the distance.
Delta pulls out the scope and tries to look through the scope.
Looking through your scope real quick and pulling it up, you figure and you aim in and you come across it. You come across a group of red Orktons. 2 of them seem to be carrying a large boar or large creature of some sort on both of their shoulders together. You can see a spear or maybe arrows in its side facing upwards as they're carrying it, and the other 5 in front of them are carrying what seems to be hunting weapons of some sort, either a spear or a rather large hunting axe. Um, Making their
What way
way
are they
through the
heading?
plains. They're coming from left to right, right underneath that far ridge over there. It's like they just came out of
So
the
they're
trees into
like
the plains.
hundreds
They're
of feet away.
yeah, they're
Uh,
hundreds of feet away. Jesus
I see
Christ.
it.
That scared the fuck out of me. That barely clipped into view, and that was kind of horrifying.
Wait, no, put that back on. Hold on.
Seeing the orcs of the hunting party, you can see them pointing around, and the one ahead of them looks to be a large orc. Looking, and you're by their height difference seems to be major, but he's the only one in the group that seems to be the large one, where the others seem to be small.
Hang on.
Leader of the hunting
Connie,
party, basically.
can you give me a distance?
No, do not take a pot shot,
But
dude.
you're looking at about
Just
900
for
feet
shits
away.
and giggles. 900?
Yeah, oh, I'd say 900. Was it 900 yards, 900 feet?
Damn. Damn. Never mind. That's still out of Delta's
Yeah,
range.
they without the scope they looked small, but you have really good perception, and to see little
Yeah.
dark black red figures on a plane of yellow would be kind of easy for someone with good
Yeah.
perception.
Delta is gonna lay down, pull out his rifle, just scope in and start following one on a bead. But
Um,
then he's
Looking
gonna
in
realize
closely,
that
you
is
can't
just a little
tell
bit out of his range.
you can't tell what it has on its side specifically, like race-wise, but you do see an adornment of 3 heads on like adorned to a rope, and you can tell they're heads because of it. Look, you can see the 2 of them seems to be like a blonde, dirty hair, but either from like dirt or blood, whatever it may be, but it seems to be like blonde hair on 2 of them and a dark black hair on another. Some of them, 2 of them seem to have like a hair or a beard possibly, but you can tell that they are 3 humanoid heads, like a trophy adorned on his side, attached to like his belt or loincloth too, the large one. But that's it.
Still got that 5 o'clock shadow. I've still got that 5 o'clock shadow. I remember now.
Yep, you do. Pete's got a luscious,
Beautiful mustache.
beautiful mustache going on.
He, as soon as
Oh,
you trim the
okay,
mustache
cool,
away,
cool.
Jerry left. Jerry's
Okay.
canonically gone. He said, "I
All
missed the
right.
mustache."
But from here, what are you guys doing? You guys can
Delta's
I
do
see.
typing.
like, oh yeah, after you're done.
Has the woman
You
woken
do
up at
have
all?
no. She has stirred a little bit, and you've heard her groan a couple times, but she has not awoken yet.
You the dude's belt was adorned with heads. I didn't mishear you,
Yeah,
correct?
yeah. It's like hanging from like a small bit of twine or rope of some kind. Yeah. So
How the
yeah,
fuck does
that's
a person win checkers, bro? Checkers is a dumbass game.
You
Sorry, that was an
pick
impulsive
the
thought.
other
Sorry.
opponent's all pieces.
all right. So what's on from here? You guys, you do see the party is making its way through the plains further and further away from you. It's not
Further and
this.
further
You
away.
just see confirmation of the hunting party that you had read the lips of earlier. It did exist. Yeah. Like an arcane check. Investigation or arcane, your choice.
As soon as someone hops
You
back in,
mentioned it being like the ends of the barrels not really being hollow barrels, correct? Kind of being like the kinetic pistol in a
Yeah.
way.
So
Would Delta have
it's
drawn that conclusion just
yeah.
looking at it?
It's a flat end on the end of it. It's a flat surface, kind of like domed inwards, like a bowl, just slightly, with triangles symmetrically on each end of it, placed in like a pattern around. Does that make sense? Like triangles,
Yeah.
one at the top, one at the bottom, one at the right, one at the left, and then you keep filling it in until you have 6 sets of those 2 triangles, and it'd be 12 triangles altogether, facing
Yeah.
across from each other.
So Delta would have made perhaps
Yes.
drawn comparisons between. I see.
Yes. So with a 17, you actually recognize one of the inscriptions, Pete, thanks to your wizardry and whatnot. Is a sorcerer, right? I wouldn't say wizardry, but being a sorcerer, something from your own world and things that you've seen in different realms and whatnot, just your own knowledge. It's not the same exact glyph, but it's a what's it called? It's a glyph for what's
warding.
That's funny because that's a
it's
spelling.
called.
Uh-uh.
Oh no, I used the wrong word. Is it that? It is an inscription for the conjuration spell Summon Weapon. And looking at it, and looking at the design of it, and the other inscriptions, you see that there is a weapon indicator, kind of circled in a glyph of its own kind, but it's circled around it with this inscriptions following it around it, and they're almost like a rune-like state. And in that little, right next to the glyph that shows the type of spell, you see what resembles a javelin.
Oh no.
This thing shoots javelins.
I start walking away. As soon as I see him hop in, I begin to walk down the mountain. I begin to walk down the mountain as soon as he hops in.
Delta will point out to Pete the orcs way off in the distance, just so that if he wants to try it, so be it. Delta will not infringe upon his buddy's fun.
Are you? Oh my god, I didn't see this coming. I really didn't see this coming from Pete.
Really? You didn't, huh? I knew this the
Not from
second we
Pete.
saw it. I'm walking away.
I didn't. I was just helping build a territory for more visuals of the campaign. That's all I was doing.
Should have locked the door.
All right, so you get on it and you begin. Are you really looking? All right, so you see, Pete, as you say that and you grab onto it and you're not stepped up yet, you say, all right, who's the biggest one? And you like pull yourself up. You feel your center of gravity change, and it's almost like, ooh. And you feel your equilibrium trying to throw you off. Feeling that you like have to hold yourself up, you do stop and kind of hold yourself back and realize you can stand. It begins to move, and you realize it's almost like the way you move your feet. It begins to rise and move depending on how you angle yourself and pull yourself forward, it raises up, and lean starts to point downward. Lean back, it starts to point upward type situation. And moving it and pointing it down, pointing it towards the orc, you see, you didn't realize it at first, but you catch what Delta is seeing too. That second vision almost coming in as you are looking out of the barrel. You don't know how to work this thing completely, so give me a wisdom saving throw, please. Did Delta tell you what he did to activate it?
I mean, Delta would be kind of explaining to him what he did, but Delta doesn't even really know what he did.
Just
All
gotta
right.
kind of like no, not like that, but
What was your saving throw?
Ooh.
What was it?
A 4?
So, looking in as you begin to fixate on the second vision, you lean over the side real quick, closing your eyes, and you throw up a little off the side. And you come back to it because you accidentally enabled the zoom in option.
Enhance.
So as you are now looking, you're no, there's no rangefinder on it. No, yeah, yeah. So you're looking out the end of the barrel itself. So you are seeing the world around you. You can move your head and look at things. You can see Delta and Pete, but it's almost as you could, or Delta and Pete, Delta and Scout, and or Pakti and Owl, but you can't. You can see also where the barrel is pointing. And when you activated, you threw up, but when you came back, you guys see that over Pete's eyes is like this slight dark blue haze from like almost like a coloring covering his eyes. As his eyes are now looking out the end of the barrel, it's kind of reflecting what he's doing. You are zoomed in, Pete. You can see all the way up to 1,500 feet. When you're focused on that vision, looking out the end of the barrel, you can see up to 1,500 feet. Alright, if you're gonna fire it, I need an intelligence check to see if you can figure out how to make sure you can feel like the
How to
different things
aim.
that kind of twist and move to certain parts of like this joystick kind of feeling thing that you're holding in your hands, but it's this black metal and at the very end of it is just a circled dark like crystal, like dark blue crystal. So do you guys start to move on your way down the hill?
I
Like
already left.
are you guys all right? Are you
No,
working?
Delta's still up there with Pete hanging out with his buddy.
Owl,
As
are
soon
you
as he
still?
got up there, I'm leaving.
All right. Make your. All right.
Well,
And
well.
going with. All right. So you do fire it. All right. But you don't fire like I need you. Okay. So you don't fire it immediately. You realize that from before there's a small charge up to it. You turn it and you realize you hear that as you accidentally turn it back into non-firing position. Realizing it can fire, you take aim. I'm assuming, and zooming through, you can see that it's. I mean, this is 4K vision right here, man. Like you are seeing really close. You see the 7 orcs being led by, and they're really close to the other side of the plains where they're going to probably be disappearing into the trees very shortly. And looking up, you can see them all just like you'd seen before. All the smaller ones dressed in the uh, crude leather-like material, not really armored up, more hunting gear in the sense of the hunting axes and spears. You can see them carrying the large, what you thought was like he thought was a boar. It was actually a larger, what you realized it'd be like a large saber-toothed cat that they had killed and are taking back more than likely for food. Seeing the larger one, you see that he's got a chest. Like, it's no spaldrons, but his chest piece, it's almost like wrapped around his back, like with rope. But the front of it has a actual plating to it. just leather, actual like what seems to be a cloth, almost a loincloth, but actual pants underneath. It seems to be like a hard leather of some sort. Rather large orc, and he's carrying a very thick, very tall spear. Seems to have very jagged edges and shaped out of a dark red material. Um, Seeing the three heads adorned on his side, you realize this is the orc that he was talking about. What's up? You firing, sir? Alright, roll for a hit. Roll a 1d20 for me and add a plus 12. You're gonna have fun with this, man. So as you guys hear him, you see he's like locked in, and he twists it, and you hear the and it begins to light up. The inscriptions begin to light and spread with the dancing with the lights, and this type of energy flowing through it, and makes his way up to the platform, up to the barrel, and you see the barrel begin to light up on the very back end. Pete's eyes also begin to light up this dark blue, and they begin to emit this dark blue color, and you see the barrel start to slowly doom, 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 and it begins to turn, and it starts to spin and spin and spin and spin and spin, 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 and all at the same time, you see 12 large, almost spectral-like ballista javelins get shot at the same time in a spinning pattern. So it's 12 at the same time. They just, in a straight line, and just shoot out the end of it. Um, I need you to roll a strength save for me, Pete, for the kickback. And after with this shot, you realize that you only got one shot because this thing does take an ammo of some sort. And this was just this gun was loaded one time, like it's got to be reloaded and stuff, but there's nothing in the crates and whatnot, so it was just there was one charge left over. With a 24, you definitely hit. As you watch these, you see it leave like this cyclone of air behind it, almost like a jet stream that you would see in the sky that leaves straight to the party, and you watch this fly out. You all feel air release around you, and you can feel the air fly by your faces. Even Al and Delta and Pete, you all feel this as well. Scout, you hear that that reverberating like charge up, and when it shot, you heard that really loud like whistling sound. It almost sounds like a Nerf football being thrown. Yeah.
We're gonna get
As the javelins
arrested.
traveled through the air, they didn't even have time to turn and look, because by the time the javelins made it to them, I need you to roll 10 d8 for me, please.
Jesus Christ, they're gonna get us arrested. I just look up and I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Now I need you to roll 6 d8 for me, please.
Dear God. So,
As the javelins impact, and you watch in your vision, like, because you're still seeing through the end of the barrel, you watch the javelins go straight for their target. What was your strength check? 14? Oh, it's a 14? That kickback, you could feel it in your body. It felt as if your whole body just got, you kept placement, but you did have to hold yourself. You didn't expect the kickback to be so strong. Instead of feeling it in the shoulder or the arm from a crossbow, your whole body took the impact. No damage, but this definitely, yeah. Yeah. As it hits the first one, you see that large orc ripped to shreds, and as it hits the ground, they all jump in surprise, and you all in the distance see a white light. Boom. And it explodes, doing radiant damage. And as it explodes outwards in a big diameter, you're not sure how big the diameter is from this point of view. You see that bulb of light appear, and as it disappears as quickly as it came, you see from your vision, you see the ground is a black spot, no fire, it's just a black spot, no grass, and there's just lumps of black laying where it once was. All of them are dead. I I need this. But yeah, that was really fucking loud. Just so you guys know.
You turn around, Pakti is nowhere near you. Would I have just made it